All right, well, welcome to Media Day 2022. Excited to get this camp rolling. I think our kids are really excited. Appreciate you guys all being here today. Got a good crowd today, and we're excited. I know the Steelers are getting it cranked up there, so I appreciate you guys being here. We've got 110 guys in camp, which is what the NCAA allows us. But I think the good information is we used to be able to have more the last 2 years. In the COVID year, we were allowed more. And then, the year post-COVID, we're allowed to have more just because of possibly guys getting sick. So it's a little bit of a shock to go back to the old norm of 110, which I think is a crazy rule that the NCAA doesn't let us. They let us do a lot of different crazy things, but they won't let us bring guys that have worked their tail off in camp all summer and bring everybody in. So there's some disappointed guys that don't get to come to camp that have worked hard. So you always feel bad for those guys, and eventually we'll get them in here at some point. But NCAA rules. We've got 17 seniors in camp, 3 grad transfers that we're excited about. And again, I think we got pretty good leadership when you look at it overall. And again, you gauge the leadership by what happened during the summer. And our kids did a nice job. But the coaches aren't always here. We have a coach here every day, but there's still a lot of things that our kids put on their own plate and take care of things. So happy with the leadership at this point. We'll find out how it goes through the month of August. And look there. Coach Stack and his staff has done a great job. 4 assistant coaches down there. I mean, the summer's been as smooth as it's been. We are significantly stronger than we were a year ago. And I can go through some of the numbers, but I won't bore you with the numbers. But our numbers went up in the squat, the bench were fast. Our GPSs are fast. Run the 40. I think Brandon Hill, give you a quick fact, 4.3, 40. I think he was the fastest guy. A bunch of 4.4s out there, which legit times and not guys times with their thumbs. Real good scores there. So we're in shape, ready to go. Got through practice number 1 today, which you guys saw the first 5 periods, and was happy with where we are right now. I think day 1, that's kind of where you expect to be. You've got a lot of bad habits that we got to correct from what they did by themselves out there all summer. Just getting them to practice the tempo and the attitude that we want them to go. So we've got plenty of practice to get that done. So with that, I'll just open it up for questions.
Name and affiliation, please. Questions?
It's Jim Hammond, PantherLetter.com. I guess after coming off the championship, I think you guys always kind of had that good mindset, broke down with ACC champs before last season. What's the difference now that you guys actually accomplished it?
Really no difference. Like today, I mean, they changed it up. I don't tell them what to do. They kind of do it today. They broke down our champs. So I was kind of like, that's a good one because it could be anything, right? Again, I don't try to micromanage what they say. Sometimes they break down our family, ACC champs, and but I'm always listening to what they're saying, what they're talking about, what they're feeling, and coming off championship, it's in the past, and we're gonna. Nobody cares what happened last year. They really don't. Nobody in this room is gonna care. Coaches, staff, or media. So we just gotta work on the next. And this is a 2022 team. It's a different team than the 21 team. And I think our kids got a good mindset about what that means and what they have to do to be something different than what 21 was.
Pat, you said a few weeks ago that the coaching staff is better this year than it was last year. What makes you say that?
Just feel good with with where we are. And again, I think in every facet, okay, I think whatever we do, we keep getting better. And last year was good, great staff. But like there's always something. In time will tell. But I just it's hard to hire people. First of all, it's hard. Dave Andrews left, and we got Coach Stack, and Coach Stack and that staff done an unbelievable job. It's like whoa, we got better. How can we do that? Like I said, it's hard to hire people, but you take your time and you do it right. You can get just as good or better. And that's why I feel really good with this staff. I feel good with communication. I feel good with what they're doing that's different than what we did in the past, which I think will help us win football games. What is it, David?
What does Keaton and Nick have to do over the next few weeks to get you guys to lose this game?
They got to go out and execute. They got to show what they did over the summer is something that's the other guy. It'll be interesting. It's gonna, most interesting thing. I think the Steelers got one of those going on. We got one of them going on. Pittsburgh is quarterback hotspot for as far as just competition going on. But I love it. But it's gonna come down to what they're doing, and really I want the whole team to know who that guy is. I always say this. I don't care what position it is. If I have to make the decision, then we got issues. Okay. Everybody should know when we make that decision. It's not like everybody's going, oh man, I thought it was the other guy. I don't want controversy. I want everybody to know that's the guy. So I'm hoping something comes fast, but we'll see how it goes. It's a day-by-day process.
Pat, Will Graves with the Associated Press. To that end, Mike T said the other day at camp, it's a marathon, not a sprint. At the same time, he's got, so far, it's, one guy's with the ones, one guy's with the twos, your former guys with the threes. How are you going to manage reps with those two guys? Are you going to let them swap run with the first team, or is there a delineated setup to start?
Kind of like we did in the spring, there'll be some rotation. They're both going to get reps with the ones, they're both going to get reps with the twos. We'll kind of see how it goes, and try to find out who our third team quarterback is as well is a big thing that we want to get figured out this spring as well, which we didn't really have an opportunity in the spring to figure that one out. They're going to mix up reps, and we're going to just kind of see how they work with each group and what they do. So it makes it a little harder when you're not just going with the ones and with the twos. But we'll figure that out, and then as soon as we want to adjust it, say, hey, you're running with the ones until further notice, we'll see how that goes too.
A month from today is your first game. When would you like to have that spot sort of figured out?
I would love to give you a date, Will, but I'm not going to give you a date because they'd be like, hey, today's the day. I'd like to have it done before the opener. Put it that way. That's the only date I can give you. Might be 2 weeks, might be 3 weeks, might be, you might find out on game day. I don't know. Wish I could put a date on it, but I can't put a date on it. I wish I knew today.
Steve Thompson, SI.com. Are Keaton and Nick, are they different players, or are you just looking for one to kind of play better?
I think they're definitely different players. I mean, I think at every position we have, they all have something that they have. Maybe it's a little bit different. So they got a different style. They both lead a little bit different. One's been here, one hasn't been. So there's a lot of differences. And we're waiting to find out who plays better and what we need at that position as well.
Pat, where do you feel you are with the install of the offense with Frank, coming in versus, last year? You had the same quarterback, same offensive coordinator for a while. Now you've got a lot of things going on. How do you feel like you guys are taking on all the new things that are being added or being put on?
Well, we had an install in the spring, we had an install this summer, and really we're kind of going through the third time. I look at what we're doing day one compared to what we did day one in spring ball, and it's night and day as far as the concepts we've got in, personnel that we have in. So, our kids have come a long way in the summer to get where they are today, and I feel good. I mean, do you like the continuity? Yes, but there's change and change needed to be done, and I like where we are. Just like 3 years ago, we needed to have change. Right now, we need a change based on who we are as a football team right now compared to who we were a year ago.
Who are you?
We'll find out. We'll find out. But I think we'll be a little bit more balanced football team. We're going to still sling it around, like we do. We're still going to, but we've got to establish a little bit more of a run game at times, but we're also going to play. I've told you guys in the past, we're going to do what the box dictates.
Pat, Jerry DePaul attributed to identify myself the first time.
Don't let it happen again.
I read a ESPN survey today that said that 80% of college football players, administrators, and coaches believe NIL is going to turn into a back market kind of thing in recruiting. Do you feel your program was violated in any way by name, image, and likeness this offseason?
You tell me. I would say probably, and we all talk about the elephant in the room, but I don't think there's any question. At least tempted with it one way or another, but there's no question about it. It's not a good thing, and hopefully they get it under control. But we're moving on and working on the next. Thanks, Jerry.
How much did that loom over recruiting this summer, though? Like in June, you have recruits coming to campus and their families. I mean, did that come up in conversation with recruits or families?
A few, but there's no looming. Everybody's got their opinion, and a lot of opinions were the same as what we kind of thought. Like, why? So, but hey, we don't make those decisions. It's over with. On to 22, I feel great with where we are.
Pat, if you had to recommend legislation or something, some sort of protection for universities to sort of, what would you do? How can you guys sort of try to negate something like that?
You know, I mean, they've opened up the portal, they've opened up name, image, and likeness, and, you know, they're gonna have to shut the name, image, and likeness down. The portal's not gonna change, I don't think. You know, they're gonna try to put some borders and stuff on it. Although a week ago, I think, John, you told me to talk about, you know, unlimited transfers. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. That would be crazy, or, it's already loud and crazy, but, I think it's, you know, just putting some borders on name, image, and likeness of what you actually can do and can't do. And I think you have to remove the boosters from the game, you know? You have to remove them. I mean, for years and years and years, the boosters were eliminated, and now all of a sudden we brought boosters back into the picture. And, you know, I want our kids to make as much money as they can, but I want them to work for it and do it the right way, not just, you know, like marketing.
Yeah, Amanda Gossi, Johnstown Tribune. This doesn't have to do with NIL, but, a
Good.
guy like, Savasi, in the middle with your linebacker core being, you know, very young, how much confidence does it give you in guys like Bengali and Solomon? They have not only someone in the middle, but someone that's also play all three positions.
Yeah, Savasier can play all three, so that's really what I feel comfortable with. It's nice to have him in the middle to make sure he's got everything under control, can tell everybody else what to do, but, you know, Bengali, we'll find out where, you know, as these game plans change, I think that's gonna be the big thing. He's shown the ability to be a player for us, an athletic guy that makes plays. You gotta play within the system. You know, Solomon, the Shields, again, is another guy. You know, Shane Simon, don't forget about him. I mean, so we have some guys. Tyler Wills, I'm looking forward to. We saw one day today, and looking forward to seeing the development that we have there. So there's a few guys out there. Buddy Mack is back at that star position. We're going to find out. I think we've got a lot of pieces to work with, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know, come mid-August, late August with that group.
So if Sebastian moves outside, it would be the first couple guys behind him in the middle.
You know, Brandon George is one of them. Shane Simon can play in there, but Shane's been able to play the money and the mic. You know, Brandon George can do the same thing. So we'll just figure that out as we go. I mean, Coach Manlack is kind of rotating them in and just kind of saying, hey, you know, play them all. And that's what you need to do with the young group, is get them to play a lot of different positions, find out where they fit, what they can and can't do, and don't limit them to play one position. Because ultimately, we're going to play the three best. When it comes down to who are the three best, okay, these are our three best guys, regardless of what position they play, and then put them where they need to be. And that'll be what we'll do come mid-August when we start to get that group together.
Coach, Mike Draculich, Pittsburgh Sports Nation. I feel that you have tremendous depth at running back. So how do you plan to utilize all the weapons that you do have with so many guys that would want the ball?
Yeah, you know, SIBO's in camp as well, so we do have, you know, some guys back there that'll be interesting to watch how they progress. But we're looking for the consistent guy, and you know, I think, you know, when you say you got three guys, you know, and then the SIBO comes in, you got four. It's like you want to look and see who is the guy that's going to be most consistent. I think at times those guys have been like a yo-yo, where that guy had a great day, and the next day the other guy has a good day. You know, I'll go back to last year, okay, 2021 spring. I came out and said that Vince Davis was our starter. Okay, going into spring ball, coming out of spring ball, Mike Izzy's our starter. It's like, you know, what the heck happened? You know, like, Vince, what did you do? Izzy stepped it up, and then, you know, so it's back and forth, and I want to see a consistent guy. I mean, I didn't say that when James Conner was back there. We didn't say that when Quadri Olson was back there. We're looking for that guy that's going to take that position over. And it can be any four of those guys. Just looking for consistency, the guy you can count on at all times, and then we'll see, see how that whole thing goes.
Hi, Steve Rodson with the Post-Gazette. Speaking of the run game, you got the entire offensive line back in front of them. Do you feel like this could be one of the best lines you've ever had, and maybe one of the biggest strengths of the team this year?
I think so. We'll find out, in December, I guess, right? If it is, I mean, nobody's gonna, say that they're the best in August or September. So, I think they got talent. Okay, we got to go out there and execute. We got, pass set it and protected the quarterback at times, and now we're gonna have to go run the ball a little bit more than we have in the past, and that's something that we're developing at, and that's what I'm looking forward to seeing, more complete. I think they're excited about it. I think it's one of the reasons they came back is they wanted to run the ball a little bit more to show that they can run block, more than just in the end of the fourth quarter.
You often talk about playing fast, especially on defense, just executing and moving. You've got Brandon and Eric back for another year. Where do you see them as your safeties helping especially your secondary play fast and get on their assignments while playing that aggressive style of football you like?
You know, a year ago, those two were two babies back there, really, getting the first start. You didn't know if Eric was gonna be the guy or not. Now he's proving he's the guy, you know, Brandon Hill. I mean, we have two mature, leaders back there. You know, you see what they tweet this morning. I retweet their tweet, you know, my right-hand man or whatever it was, with the hand up. And, you know, they're confident, they're leaders, and, you know, I just think it comes really down to the confidence they have back there right now. They're gonna be well coached, and they're gonna know what to do. They're gonna be able to, you know, communicate and lead the rest of those guys back there, the forward position and the guys behind them.
Jason Mackey from the Pittsburgh Post said, as far as defending the ACC title and going back a little bit to the last year stuff, do you prefer guys to sort of acknowledge there's a target on their back, or do you say ignore that day to day, focus on what you're doing?
Yeah, you know, there's no target on our back, and we're not really defending it, because it's not going anywhere, it's there. The trophy's not gonna leave, you know, that area out there in the front of the building. The trophy's here, we're champions 2021, and it's over. So we're just starting a new one, and going after that trophy, going after the championship again, and again, you know, we're not gonna, you know, we're gonna be on the offensive, we're not gonna be the hunted, we're going hunting ourselves, okay? And I think that's, like, we're not gonna sit back and go, oh gosh, you know, people are coming after us. No, we're going after them. And we're going after them harder than we did a year ago, and we're gonna go after them in a different way. It's gonna be a different attack, you know, offensively, defensively, and it'll be a different attack on special teams. So I think it'll be fun to watch, but, you know, we're not gonna sit back and do the same thing we did last year and think that it's just gonna happen again.
Don McCullough from the Pitt News. You mentioned earlier you want your team to know who's going to be that player on offense, quarterback to lead the team. What do they need to do in your eyes to really let those guys know, hey, I'm the guy?
Yeah, I think, you know, the quarterback position is no different than the kicking position or the linebacker position. Let's not just focus on it. It's every position. You know, I could grab a couple guys and say, hey, who's the best Michael? Who's the best left tackle? They know who it is. I mean, the left tackle, they're gonna say it's Carter Warren. Okay, we all know. There's no, you know, competition there. The question would be, who's the backup, you know? So I want our kids feeling confident who that guy is. They should be able to answer those questions. So it's going out and executing, it's leading, and it's you know, it's making plays. And you know, the kids should see it on tape. Our players should watch it on videotape.
Is there anything they can do off the field to put themselves even further on that, or is it more on the field
I
for
think
you?
it's a little bit of both, but you know, it's you know, who do the guys want to follow? That quarterback position, that middle linebacker position is such a critical one that people are looking, you know, to those guys to find out, are they gonna help and make everybody else better? The offense is a little bit different than defense, because now we're all in no huddle, but back in the day, that quarterback and the defense, that linebacker was in the huddle with 10 guys staring him in the face, and you know, you couldn't look like a little weasel back there. You better have some, you better have a little look to you, and you better have some leadership skills to make those guys believe in what you're doing. It's the same thing in the quarterback, right? So, you know, we gotta make that quarterback, he's gotta make 11 guys on that team play. Those other 10 guys, he's gotta get them going, and they gotta play better for one or the other.
And Jeff Hatham, KDK Radio receiver, do you feel like there's somebody that can step up and take a leadership role, or and how do you feel about the depth of this?
Yeah, leadership role, you know, I feel good about the depth. I feel, you know, we got weapons out there. You know, Jared Wayne has been that leader this summer. He's been that guy. He's one of our Eagles in our leadership council. He's taken over that leadership role with those guys, and I feel good with the leader there. I feel good, obviously, you know, the main leaders, you know, Coach Underwood. But you know, I feel good with the leadership, and you know, we'll find out how that depth goes. I mean, got some new guys out there. I mean, Canate's went through spring ball. He's not as seasoned as the rest of them, but like Bub Means is in camp and did some nice things today. He's a big athletic guy. He's had a great summer. I mean, and doing things the way he's supposed to do it. So we're excited about him and watch and see if Jaden Bradley can come through and make a ton of plays and grow up and be mature and do things the way we want it to be done. I mean, all those things are stuff that we're looking forward to.
Coach, you've had some really good defensive lines, especially the last few years, and not just in terms of production, but the pros you've produced. I mean, do you feel that you guys have sort of earned a reputation, maybe nationally, about that, maybe that specific thing being a strength, whereas other things tend to, like, you don't know who the quarterback's going to be this year, right? At least not yet. But you, Elijah and those guys up there, you feel pretty good. I mean, do you feel like you guys have established an identity that, regardless of what all the other moving parts, that this part of this team is always going to be a strength?
Yeah, I don't think it's always going to be. You slack off and don't do a good job recruiting or coaching them and get banged up. But I feel good about the quarterback spot too. You know, look at the two quarterbacks that have taken a majority of snaps in the last 7 years are Kenny Pickett and Nathan Peterman, who's still in the NFL with the Bears. feel like we've kind of, repeated there. We're gonna continue to have wideouts, but I feel great with our D-line group. Those guys are, play aggressive, they're well coached, the scheme plays a part to it. Coach Bates does an unbelievable job, and, but I say this and I'll say it again, and I don't know if you guys believe me because you guys keep asking me, the D-line, I got the same thing down media day. It takes 11, and we could have 4 Aaron Donalds there, but if the corners don't cover anybody, the ball comes out quick, they're running up the field wasting their time. They might as well stand on the line of scrimmage and try to bat a ball down. I mean, it takes everybody doing their job. Or the ball's coming out, it doesn't matter, you're not getting any pressure, and you're gonna have a hard time stopping the run as well.
I've had a lot of the same things on special teams lately with Cal and Kirk, and those guys are gone, so where are you looking for there?
Well, we got a kicking competition, really you could say we have a punting competition with our new punters, so I mean, all those guys are competing. Long snapper, Byron's in there, and Ben's, backing him up, so, there's some spots. I mean, we've got, Sam is back, so we got our kicker from a year ago, but Ben is also a guy that's shown he's got a chance, and so we're gonna continue to evaluate those guys, and it's a little bit different. Like I said, we have a different attack this year, and some of the specials are gonna be critical. We know how important special teams are, and I think the thing I feel really good is that the people around our kickers are, seasoned. We've got a lot of specialists that are special on special teams, whether it's running down on the punt team, blocking on kickoff return, being a headhunter on the kickoff team. We've got a lot of those guys that have played football, and some young athletic guys that are going to help us as well.
Coach, Corey Chris at DK Pittsburgh Sports. You talked about Tyler Wiltz coming into your linebacking room. FCS guy translated to this level. When you were recruiting him, what was the biggest thing that stood out that made you think he can make that jump?
Well, he looked smart on videotape. You never know, but then he was smart when he came on his visit. But he's athletic. He's a playmaker. He kind of fits in just like Shane Simon did. When you watch him on tape, you're like, man, we get him, and he fits into our scheme. I just like the way he has great instincts, and his ability to get to the ball, and he's got athletic ability. So I think that's going to be something we're going to find out what it looks like here. I'm sure there's going to be some growing pains with it because he's going to a different system. But he's so smart. He's so willing. He's got a great personality, and he can take coaching. You can see that right away. I mean, he wants a tip every minute. He wants to coach what it looked like. What do I need to do? I mean, he's looking for coaching. I love that.
When you go back and when you went back and watched the film from spring camp, was Keaton the guy that you had hoped would come in and be quarterback in terms of what he brought to the table and how he performed in the game?
No question, he is what we thought he was. When we recruited him, he's everything and some. We think he's athletic. He's smart. He's got a great arm, and again, he does stuff different than Nick, and it's gonna be fun to watch those two compete. I know we're excited to watch those two guys.
Having Damari having moved on to the NFL, it seems like you have some freed up snaps at corner. Who's in the mix to fill in for Damari left behind?
Yeah, AJ Woods had a great spring. You got Marquez Williams. You have let me look at my depth chart here. Who's someone that's a good depth chart question. MJ Devonshire has been outstanding. I would say the 3 guys at the starting position right now would be, MJ, Marquez, and AJ Woods. But then, Rashad Battle's coming back. You got Javante Royal. This Rylan Gandy has been, he's been sharp. He looked good in the spring. We'll find out if he hits, the August wall, but he's really sharp and trustworthy. So you got Noah Bigelow. I mean, we've got some DBs that have athletic ability, and it's, if the light turns on, we have some corners out there that can cover people, and they're big and they're athletic.
What about your depth at safety? I'm sorry, go ahead.
You mentioned Gandy as a freshman, with the corners. I mean, are there any other freshmen you're kind of your eye on right now?
I'm looking forward to see what Steph Hall does. I think he's got some potential. Again, he's not a true freshman. He's a freshman though. Javon McIntyre is another guy. I think is interesting on the offensive side of the ball. Nobody that can, offhand say just as a freshman, I guess maybe the other guy's Ryan Bear. I mean, that guy's big and he's athletic, and so we'll see what happens there.
We're going to be transitioning to our team session, our offensive coaches in a few minutes. Jerry, I know you had a question. Take you, Jerry. We'll take one more for Will, and then we'll wrap this session up. Jerry, go ahead.
We'll take another look at that. Jerry?
Anybody gonna be limited this time?
Is that an injury question?
I didn't say the word.
Nobody is limited, except maybe me, right?
What are you
My
limited
calf's
to?
a little tight.
What are you limited to?
You know, we are really, really healthy right now going into fall camp, so we want to keep it that way.
Pat, there's a good chance when these rankings come out here in a couple weeks, you could find yourselves at or near the top 10 or top 15 of these polls. I think you've been ranked going into the season before here, right? But do you think it's a good chance it's the highest expectations of everything going into the season for you here?
Yeah, not worried about it. Don't care. I want to know where we're ranked at the end of the year, and how many wins we have in that win column. That's gonna be the key. Those preseason rankings mean absolutely nothing. Go pull out your rankings from what it was last year at the beginning of the year and see what it looked like. I don't know if does anybody ever do that? EJ, look at the first rankings and find out what it looks like they had and how wrong they were. So, we can be in the top 10 and not be in the top 10. I'd like to see all your rankings. Matter of fact, turn your rankings in from last year to EJ. We'll let EJ do some work on it. I think we had one more up here.
Yeah. Under 5 weeks to go. How important is it?
We only got it the first day, it's already the countdown under 5 weeks.
How important is it to the program, fan bases, and college football overall that you play historical rivals, and then college football continues to have teams play their rivals, and West Virginia obviously is a rival that's Pitt and has had for forever.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of excitement. I mean, it's a little bit different than to open up with somebody, like New Hampshire or whatever it may be. There's excitement in Pittsburgh, the fans. Every time I see a Pitt fan, I mean, that's all they talk about is that opener. So it's going to be electric. Game day will be there. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and our kids feel it. They feel you. They feel the fans. I'm sure if I'm hearing it, they're hearing it wherever they go when they go out to dinner. So they're feeling it. I think it's exciting. I mean, it's college football, and you get the backyard brawl, whether it's in September or if it's in November. It doesn't matter when that game is. That's a big game, and we're looking forward to embracing that rivalry and putting in a good game plan to get our boys ready to go.
Will, you got
Pat,
wrap it up?
I just want to clarify something. When we were asking you about NIL and stuff, you said, I'd like to get boosters out of the equation. I mean,
You asked me if I could put one rule in.
okay, well, I mean, at the same time, you also, I mean, your position, the head coach position is endowed here by a booster. All the stuff you have here is provided, a lot of this stuff is provided by fundraising. So how do you sort of, as a coach, how do you sort of walk that line? We're saying, hey.
Well, I'm not saying get rid of boosters from our athletic department, okay? So, what you'll see throughout the country, I think now is a booster, okay? Is saying, do I give my money to the athletic department or do I give it to the collective, okay?
Right.
And I'm saying we should be giving our money to the athletic department and kind of, eliminating that. I think name, image, and likeness goes out to those companies that want to take care of your kids and you're tweeting for them, you're working for them, you're doing community service for them, and you're making the money that way. I just think there needs to be some limits. And again, if we're gonna get the boosters involved in, in name, image, and likeness, which is great, then we just have to have some control on what they can do. And it's gotta be pretty equal throughout the country. It can't be, wide gaps, or we're gonna go and call it.
Thank you.
All right?
Thank you, Coach.